sort of an 8-9 or 7-9 suited, something like that. So yeah, he could have 9-10 or ace-8 or something around there. So I think we're winning the vast majority. So we lead the turn, and he calls, and the river is a 5, and we lead the river, and he calls with 9-6. Kind of surprised that he doesn't, in inverted commas, like bluff raise this river. I think that I would be going for probably more value here with 10-jack. I don't think I have too many 10-6s. I could bet call a queen here if he raised the river. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it. I mean, he does rep a 6 and 10-jack. So given that I think he'd be value betting that 10-jack, or he'd be c-betting that 10-jack on the flop, I think that I'd probably end up bet calling this river. It's quite hard to have a 6. Obviously, it's not that crazy, but yeah, I think that this is a pretty good spot where he may turn a kind of 8 into a bluff. So yeah, I think that I'm maybe slightly surprised that he didn't decide to value raise the 6. But yeah, I think happy with my double barrel there. I think there's still maybe some weaker queens if he didn't want to c-bet those, maybe a 9-10. There's a lot of hands I think that can call us down there, 10s and jacks and what have you. But he does have the 9-6. So here we see a 11 big blind shove, and I think it's just a bit too much for us to be calling with our king-jack off here. We're probably doing okay against his shoving range here, and we're probably ahead a decent amount, but I think that just maintaining my 1.2 million here, I think king-queen suited I'd struggle to fold, but I think king-jack off is just a little bit too weak. Here we open the king-10 off, and we get 3-bet from this guy in the big blind, and he's sort of, I mean, these stats are probably from a lot of hands at this final table, so maybe slightly laggier than his usual game, but probably fairly accurate for at the moment. So he has a pretty decent 3-bet size from the blinds, so I think that king-10 off's a pretty good hand for me to just click it back here, and he does let it go. I think I'd like me to 3-bet here right off the bat, straight after that last hand. He may feel like this isn't straight after full betting the hand before. He may feel like I'm not necessarily kind of wanting to go for it here, so therefore it could get some more credit. So I definitely wouldn't mind to see a 3-bet here, but we do let it go. And he does get 3-bet by this guy, and lets it go. So but maybe a little annoyed I didn't 3-bet the queen 10 off myself there. So this guy standard shove and gets it through. Here we defend the ace-3 suited and just let it go. Again, we do have a backdoor, but not really enough equity. I mean, like, it's fine to call here and try and take it away on the river, but we're in such a good spot here that I don't feel like I necessarily want to be going for that kind of play. But then he is opening 9-6 off, so there is, maybe check raising is better than check calling there. Here this guy shoves, and obviously we can't do anything with 10-jack suited, and he gets through. Here we open the ace-7 off. Not sure what I would be doing to a shove from this guy, possibly folding. He is obviously going to be dominating us a lot, and he seems to be getting through quite a lot of shoves, so whether he would try and go too wide here, I'm not sure. General stats look fairly tight, so yeah, it's pretty close. Against some people, I'd be happy raise calling this hand. I think we're not the button at the moment, but yeah, we do get it through, and we don't have the awkward decision. Here we open the ace-8 off and get flattered. I think that betting this flop is the easiest way to probably play our hand. Check calling, there's some merit to. He is going to be betting with maybe some better diamonds, but hands losing to ours at the moment, which he might decide to check back on the turn and take a free one unimproved, and we can get to showdown with the best hand. Betting, we're going to get into fold maybe a few hands. We are likely to get floated, so I think that probably double barreling this kind of a hand is the best way to go, with maybe him only calling with bluff catchers, no diamonds sort of thing. So I think that we get to realise our equity like that. Check raising on the flop I don't like. I think that isn't really an option. I mean, we can, but he could just own us with a king queen suited and click it back or something, and then we kind of have to give it up. So I think that double barreling is close between double barreling and check calling flop. I hope after all this I do double barrel. I'm probably going to check now. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I think that betting once and checking isn't an option really. He can just be floating here all day with all of his non-diamond, non-paired hands, hoping for us to shut down, and we do, and pretty terribly played hands. So I definitely think I want a double barrel there. Maybe he feels like we don't. Maybe I felt like I don't really rep too many sevens when I see bet, but I think I probably have as many sevens as jacks. I don't think I'd be checking a 7 here too often. So yeah, I think pretty bad mistake. If we're not double barreling this flop, we're just going to be losing the pot almost every time. So I really don't like that. Here this guy shoves and we fold the queen 6. And we fold the ace 7. Here we open the 7s and we get 3-bet by this guy who's been going at it pretty hard on the final table. So I think that here we can defend and then be unsure as to how we want to play it post flop. So I think that 7s are probably just a bit too good, and I'm assuming I just ship it in here. Yeah, I'm fine with this, even though it kind of turns our hand face up as a small to medium pair, or maybe a king queen off or something. I don't think even king queen I'd be fine flatting. So I think this just does turn my hand face up as a small medium pair, but there's 200,000 chips in there, and I think this is the best way of trying to win them rather than flying and trying to make good decisions post flop. I suppose we do have positions, so there is an argument for flatting there, but I felt like he's been aggressive enough that just shoving is going to be the way to go. Here we 3-bet the ace king off, and we get 4-bet by this guy and decide to ship it in again. Don't really want to make a kind of inducing shove here if he is trying to. I mean, when he 4-bets this, I mean, this is such a big 4-bet that it kind of forces me to shove. So I do like this sizing from him, because I can't really make it 500 and him think that I'm going to fold with 800 behind, I don't think. So yeah, I really like this sizing from him, and it does just force me to shove, which obviously there's a lot of hands here that I wouldn't want to shove. So yeah, nice sizing from him and forced me to stick it in. Blind's gone up. So here we have the ace queen off, and oh sorry, and this guy reshoves, and this guy calls. I think with my stack, it's just a call. We're getting 2.5 to 1, and we could be in pretty good shape here. I don't expect him to be folding 8s and 9s. Maybe would he fold 8s here? I think with 14x, he's going to struggle to fold pocket 8s, pocket 9s here. So I think that there is a situation where we could be kind of flipping for a triple up a decent amount of time. We could also have a lot of our cards missing against a flip. So yeah, this is kind of close, but I think just with my stack and getting 2.5 to 1, I can take this on. And we do call and find ourselves in pretty amazing shape. But sadly for us, we do not get there, and the jacks hold. And a few folds here. Kind of interesting to see there, I think. Yeah, kind of strange to see this guy open shove the 24 big blinds. Not maybe just small pairs, but I feel like if he is shoving, like a hand that he would want to shove 24 big blinds with, he should be wanting to open and 4-bet shove over a light 3-bet here, especially the way that this final table's been played. So, and especially with the shorter stack, if he feels ICM considerations are kind of removed a bit by being the shortest, I think that just opening to 4-bet shove is the way to go. He does just rip and get it through. We go walk with the queen 6 off, open the queen 5 suited, get it through. And lots of folds. And nothing much we can do here with the king jack off. I think we'd need something around the... I mean, when he doesn't 3-bet and deuce here, I feel like this is... like, we are beating some of those hands. But I feel like I think that this is a kind of 10 jack suited, small pair, some kind of, well, queen jack perhaps. But I feel like this is sort of, that is kind of like ace 9 suited and worse. And then kind of pocket 2s to 6s. I think anything better than that should definitely be 3-bet inducing, especially considering he's the short stack here. We do fold the king jack off. And what just happened there? Wow. So just a min and a 40x reshove. Again, I don't know what hands would want to do this. I think if it's that good, he should probably be wanting to 3-bet, 5-bet shove. And if it isn't, he should probably be just defending. But he does get it through. I think I probably should open the king 7 off here. Been pretty quiet. So here with the king jack suited, I decided to 3-bet to 5-bet shove. I think in normal situations I would be fine just defending from this kind of stack size, but I just felt with this guy wanting to put in the last bet in almost every hand, I felt like we could definitely get a light. From this stack size, I think we just have the perfect stack size to 3-bet, 5-bet shove. But he does just fold. Here we get the aces, and sadly no action. So this guy reshoved us again here for 22x this time. And I think in normal circumstances I would let this one go, but I just felt with his huge shoves and non-inducers that he is just left with worse hands. Like, yeah, he can have some broadways which are pretty much flipping against, but then there's kind of like, I get the feeling like he's reshoving all those kind of weak suited aces, which we could have him pretty crushed. So I think in this situation we decided to call and get shown the ace jack off, and that's a shame. Just surprised that this guy just doesn't induce ace jack off four-handed with 22 big blinds, and maybe I make the mistake of again thinking that he's thinking how I think, if that makes sense. And yeah, we end up making the bad call and don't get there. So here we pick up 10s just in the nick of time and reshove 11 big blinds, and sadly don't get called. Here I just open the 8-7 off from this stack size. I think we can raise fold. It's going to be quite hard for them to reshove on us. Well, not quite hard, but I think they could feel that I would be just open shoving a lot of hands here, so maybe they would feel that this is more likely to be an induce, but we do get it through. And again, same kind of logic with the queen 4 suited, but this time we do get 3-bet and let it go. We pick up jacks, and somehow manage to fade the queens and the spades, and we are back in it. And luckily for us, we lose a player and get 3-handed. And just see what he... So fairly normal. I think I would probably be opening or inducing ace-jack suited here from 15x. Like, what does this guy do with ace-7 suited here? Like, I think he would likely shove and always fold to a shove here. There we go. He has the 8s. We lose a player. So this guy check calls and leads this turn. I think in this spot he is just very polarized. I just don't see people doing this